Well, here we are at the Boy Scouts, heading off on a canoe camp. We got light snow falling, storm coming in, wind blowing like crazy. I think we're fixing to have a good time.
Oh yes. Not only done but burnt.
Oh, it's not
No,
burnt.
it's not even burnt.
Is that 13 squared by 3?
We actually did just check that.
Crap, I just lost it. We just barely stirred it.
What is it?
Okay, we're in good
You
shape.
said you're smart?
Do we want to do a cobbler?
You guys want a cobbler?
You want to do cobbler?
Let's do cobbler.
That's burnt. Oh,
Oh, that looks so
That's
good.
blasphemy.
Give me a plate. Give me a plate.
there's not a bit of burn in there. It's kind of a storm trying to roll in. I don't know if it's going to or not, but we'll see what happens. We're just up on top of the hill where the Quakies start. And right back in here is our camp. And then I put mine up over here. A little more away from everybody, I guess. So here's my setup right here. And all my gear hanging up there in the tree. And my sleeping setup right there. Alright, well, the storm's really trying to come in here. I'm gonna hurry and kind of get this out of the way. So this is my sleeping situation. Now when I went to bed last night, it was about 23, 24 degrees. So it's getting down there, it got a little windy. Well, what we're calling the Osni top quilt or whatever. It's only that wide. But that's good enough when you're laying in. I didn't want it to be too much. I wanted enough when I'm laying in there. That's just enough to cover me. And being snapped in, it keeps it in place. And of course, I've got my Osni here underneath, and that provides my underneath insulation. Right, so here's something else that I experimented with, and I'm just kind of toying around with it right now. It's not that cold at this point, but I'm trying to just see what I can do later on as the season gets colder. 30, I don't know, it's a little under 3 feet wide, about 50 to 55, 60 inches tall. And I've got the Osni clipped up. And I just undid a few snaps right there. Then I just took this and shoved it in here. So I put this so it's between my hammock right here, the poncho set up as a hammock. It's between that and the Osni. So I just shove this down in here. Now this little quilt thing here is in-between quilt, or whatever you want to call it. It's made out of the same thing as the Osni, so it's using the Apex insulation. Now you could do the same thing with your underquilt if you have one of our underquilts instead of the Osni. So you could add something, some fluffy insulation between your hammock and between your underquilt. And all you want to do is when you get in there and you're laying down in it, just reach around and feel underneath you. And if you feel it really solid underneath you, then everything's a little too tight. So you want to loosen the drawstrings maybe just a little bit, which can allow it to kind of sag down a little. And because you don't want to compress the insulation by being too tight. And but I didn't even play with it. I just got in it and I checked it out, and it was fine just as is. Just going to show you how I get into here. I'm retaining as much body heat as I can by being all the way inside. The fabric on this quilt, over quilt, everything there is breathable, so I'm not building up excess moisture. The thing else here I just realized is I was letting this whole thing here just hang down like that. But you know, all the snaps here are double-sided snaps. So I just bring this underneath, up over the top, and I can snap it to the other side, double-sided snap. I'm snapping it to itself here. Gives this kind of a trim look on the end there, and it will help hold in a little bit more by doing that. So by doing this, I just learned something today. Every time I go camping, I learn something. That's why I go camping every week. Every week I learn something new. Storm's rolling in off the mountains right there. Wind's picked up. It's going to be beautiful. Well, heading over to the camp again. I dropped the boys off, Boy Scouts, and they're on their way back home, and I'm on my way back to camp. Well, it's about 34 degrees out. I sent all the scouts home from camp here, and now I'm hanging around here for a few more hours myself, just because I can. And I'm going to roast me up a Johnsonville, I think. Get out here and do a little damage here, a little relaxation. Yeah, there's my view. Yeah, the dog is cooking. The juices are beginning to flow. My camping area here. With a lot of quakies and a little intermingling of some pine. You know, it's not a bad deal out here, roasting up a Johnsonville over the fire. Snow flurry weather today, fall colors. It was snowing lightly when we came yesterday and canoed across down the lake. And the wind was blowing pretty good. At times we had white caps on the lake. Boys got a big tent set up, and all of us adult leaders, we all slept in our hammocks. Let's say you've already got an underquilt. Say you decide, well, I want to have a Osni, but no, I bought an underquilt. What am I going to do with that? Well, you know, if you get out in the cold weather, you might want to snap the underquilt under your hammock, and then when you go to bed, you may want to take your Osni off, snap it underneath the underquilt. So now you have triple the insulation that you would have just with the underquilt. So it's not like you got to throw the underquilt away. Now this might seem like totally ridiculous, right? It might be, but I could wear the fleece, and I could then take the Osni so now I've got the Osni over top of the fleece. I can snap the Osni to the fleece. I can snap the sides down. I could hook this whole thing up just like I was working a poncho to a fleece or a poncho to an Osni. So I can do fleece to Osni. I could do two Osnis on top of each other. I could throw a poncho over the top of this and snap it to all this. I mean, you see what I'm saying? I mean, whatever you got, it's still good. There's still a way you can use it, and still a way that you might use it sometime. Okay, so now I can be up inside of this. It's a quick little shelter. I could throw down some boughs or whatever, and I can at least be out of the weather. Well, got a little snow going on here today. Nice to keep some hot mocha going. Well, here we go. We got snow, dude. We got snow. Snow and a little wind here. Pretty brisk out here. Wind is pretty brisk. I'll put my gloves on in a minute again.